It's me, Capri. My mommy is the best. Super mom, Robbie, what? She helps mommy get those smiles back. To get those back. Others might go back. You wait for the show. Wash. Get ready for that super slippery, that super slap.
Welcome to Healing for the Soul podcast, sponsored by Supermom Robin Stoltman, where every week I feature different guests to empower you to become the best version of yourself through different methods you may not have heard of or thought of. If you are ever looking for a virtual assistant, I highly recommend Sphere Rocket to delegate any business-related tasks like grow your social medias, book appointments, and much more that all businesses require, boosting your sales, productivity, and much more. The link to Sphere Rocket is at the bottom of this episode. And this is season 6, episode number 49. And today I have my guest, Radavie Riom, who is a non-traditional therapist who supports clients to live in inner peace in the midst of everyday challenges. In serving the divine, she has a passion to encourage and support others to break the code of human conditioning. She has been in service for 30 years, and today we are talking about breaking the code of human conditioning. Thank you so much, Radavie, for being here with our audience.
Thank you so much, Robin, not just with your audience, but also with you. So I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here as well. It's I just love like the peace, like the calmness that you have about you. Like even your background is peaceful, like with the green color.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It took me many, many years, Robin, to get to this place. I was a wounded little girl. So, you know, if I can do it, every human being can do it. And I'm very passionate and really about that. So, so
Well,
that's why I'm here to help people break the code of human conditioning. That's the reason.
oh, that's good though, because I know like you said about for being a wounded little girl that you started out.
Mhm.
How did that affect you in your adult, like when your childhood growing up and then into the adult life before you came to being this calm person that you are now?
Okay. Well, when I was 5 years old, well, my wounding started when I was 2. I don't need to go into the details, but my mother really was here to, to help me to get into who I am today and what I do with people because of how she treated me. Not good. But when I was 5, I wondered. I was a very introspective person, very deep. I would sit by the wall by myself and I would ask, why am I here? Really deep passion. Why am I here? Why was I born? It echoed into the silence, but I know somewhere consciousness heard it. I just know, when you ask for something passionately, like taking the mountains off from the eyes of your child, you have it here. And so, but I came in to learn something, to experience something, and I need to go through it. So during the time when I was going through my own self healing, that's when it was clear to me because my intuition and my inner guidance is always there. And I knew I was here to break the code of human conditioning. What is conditioning? And conditioning is a learning experience we have from parents or the world or school or wherever it is that doesn't serve us. Conditioning is where we are conditioned into something that we really are not. And so we move through the world with this program. And that program is the belief self. We believe this is what I should do because I'm conditioned into it. I need to go to school. I need to do all of these things. I'm sure you remember, and everyone else remember what they were forced or told to do. And we're innocent, we're young, and we're being programmed, and we move into survival, many of us. And as we're into this survival, is we try to do things to make usually our parents happy. So we move out of what we're supposed to be here doing into wanting to please them. And so many children go through that. So that takes us on the wrong path. That's the code that needs to be broken so we can live as a spark of what we are. We are divine sparks. And the divine sparks is a flame of one, of the divine, of God. We are all flames, sparks of the one. And so when we're living in this dualistic world, talk about them, talk about this, and talk about judgment, talk about I'm not good enough, and they are, and watch sometimes with envy because somebody knows more than you do or has more than you do, and it creates a lot more unhappiness.
It definitely does. Like that
Mm,
that envy and that want and all that, and it's just like that's what pushes it away from you. Is
absolutely.
that
Yes.
that's what
Well,
I've tried to tell people that
yeah. What happens, and I really
yeah,
want to say this so that you know the details of what in my world, how I understand it.
yeah.
Envy, judgment will create unhappiness. When we and lack, and when that is there, what it does, it veils the essence of our being. Like your little beautiful son, he's in that state of innocence. Consider that he's being conditioned, like say with you, for instance, and you're such a beautiful mother, but let's say you're a mother who doesn't think about him, but you think about yourself. You want things to be done your way.
Hmm.
And it's not the way that his soul came in to do. It
Mm.
moves him into a direction that is not aligned with his soul. And that is what happened with many, many of us. So that's what happened with me. And I began to, and because I was very intuitive and I learned about God when I was 4 years old and I went to Sunday school. That was a calling card. That was my ace card. God. I want to know where God is. So, in spite of my wounded and unhappy state, that was a piece that, like, it was the string, the string of light that went through the tapestry of my life. Oh, couldn't go away. Never mind how unhappy I was. So, that I think was a very important thing because as much as I went through my own self healing, I started to let go of the veils of doubt, the veils of unhappiness, and I began to see life in a more heartfelt space. I began to see, mm, my heart began to feel open, more open to the frequency of the divine. And when I work with clients, I said, I don't go in the room as me. The divine is at work with me. It's the divine that is in service. And that's how I see it. And that brings a feeling of compassion and love that you share in the world and with your clients.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like you can tell like when his presence is there versus it's not. Like there's the more that calming peace reality, like what you were speaking about, versus all the busy, busy, busy that we're conditioned to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing I wanted to say, the importance of, like your son there, he's perfect to be in here now. Foundation, our foundation is innocence, innocence, like he is innocent. But the conditioning, what it did, it created a false program, a false place from which we're living. We're living from the conditioned. And that, in my world, I call that the false light. We, I'm sorry, but we won't get to the place of inner peace or living as a spark if we're still living from the thoughts of what people, the belief state. We believe that we need to do this and we need to be this. We'll never be fully happy that way. So the pure light to me is like being in that state of innocence, and 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 it's not gone just because we became adults. It's still there, just been veiled over by the unhappiness and the human conditioning.
Yeah, and I was thinking about like for that human condition, like we're taught from an early age to not talk about certain things. But then yet on social media, people will say things that this is something that I've wondered. I'm like, if a person were to say something like they talk on social media, like all the trolls is what their people call them.
Mhm.
And it's like, if that same person were to say that to a person face to face, I don't think that they would say that. I think they think that it's because they're online that that's the way they're supposed to react, or some of the stuff that people talk about and just like the different feeds that you see, like for the news, for example, on there and what people say and all that. And it's like, I think that it's almost like a part of them gets to be like that part of them that they don't get to express in their everyday life. So then they decide that it's okay that I can do it online because, well, that person I'll never meet them. And
It's still a reflection within their being.
yeah.
They would never be that way if there wasn't some unhappiness inside.
Well, that's what I figured out with a lot of these people is that
Oh,
they're just
absolutely.
very unhappy. And it's like, but if you have that inner peace and you're happy, you don't typically want to harm other people and you typically enjoy your life instead of complaining. And you'd mentioned something about lack earlier that I was trying to remember exactly what I was going to ask you about that. Then I know that a lot of people are in that state of lack.
Oh, yeah. Again, because of the program that was set up for them to follow. The program of, you got to go to school and make good grades. That's usually a typical one. You got to go out and make money. You got to be noticed. A lot of, a lot of children, because they grew up in an unhappy family, it just closed down their mental place of being bright, or they go home with their school thing, and it's not good enough. The parents are not happy because you didn't do well enough. So all of those things is not supporting to a child. They don't feel supported. They feel that they're lacking. And it's very common. Many parents who are treating their children like how they expect them to be instead of accepting them for how they are and supporting them in that way. And some children are not born to be um, great in school. They're here to become more creative in different ways, and they're forced to do something. So there's a lot of different things. It's about how to open your heart to your child. How do you open your heart so you get the feeling of what this child is, or human beings are? Instead of judging, open to see my heart is open to understanding who you are, what you are.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it that way because I know, like, for me, I'm just like, I've been more like the intuitive part of like with myself of like my kids, like, they're all different. I know that they're not like everybody else's kids. And I know, like, all parents tend to say that, but it's like my kids, they don't fit the mold at all that is typical in this world because we can't take them any place where they actually like fit in or do what they're told on certain things. And it's like, but they have something that they're definitely one teaching us at the same time we're teaching them. And then it's like my husband and I, we've come to this conclusion. I'm like, you know what? Maybe our kids aren't meant to do this thing like for the schooling even. So it's like they've thrived better when we did the homeschooling. They've thrived better like when we're taking them away from the different things. And then I was feeling bad because I'm like, well, they don't know how to do their reading and writing and all this stuff yet. And I'm like, but at the same time, they very much enjoy that they're not learning all that stuff quite yet. I mean, like now they are because of being in school, but outside of that, it's like they're happy just being them. And it's like they're
Absolutely.
still learning very much along the way. I mean, like it's not like they haven't learned, but it's like the sit down reading and writing is what I'm talking about. But they've
You know,
been learning so other things.
right. The beautiful thing is that they can learn from nature. What do I mean by that? They
Hmm.
can learn how to use things in nature, a piece of wood, how they can learn to use that to create. And people think that it's not brilliant. It is. More than sitting to learn what it is, many times they feel bored about those things. So nature has a lot for all of us to learn from.
It most definitely does. And like this morning, I never even told my son to go do it on his own. Never, nothing, never even thought of the idea to tell him. He did it all on his own, and he's 7, and he's learning how to play piano. This morning, before I got up, before his brothers got up, he took and he had his to the digital piano. So he had his headphones on, had his book out there, had a little light on so he could see his music, and he was playing. So when I woke up, I thought, I never taught him that, you know, consciously that I was aware that I was doing it. But then I realized I did teach him to get up early to, if you want something that's very important, get up early, make sure that you're away before everybody else gets up to do something you really want to do. Like you really want to say, like for me, it's my Bible, it's my time with God. So for him, he took upon himself to think about how to do it on his own so he's not getting interrupted because his 19-month-old brother likes to bang on the keyboard. And then his 6-year-old brother likes to go bang on it. And I'm like, okay, well, if we're getting all this banging, he came up with the idea on his own. And it's like that was brilliant in itself. Because like when you're talking about going
Very
outside,
brilliant, very brilliant. So you
yeah.
you give him an idea and he took it on in his own creativity. And watch him because the fact that he got up to play the piano, maybe he's really musical. Watch what they all come in with their own wisdom.
Oh yeah, he's very much piano
Oh,
oriented.
there you go.
And he can sing on key at his age. And he can do it at the same time. I'm like, he's able to sing and play the notes at the same time. And I'm like, that takes talent because I don't have that. So I'm very happy with him having that. And so, how do you help people unveil and emotionally clear these childhood wounds?
To them. Every adult that has a problem wants to be heard. Don't say never mind. A lot of people say, oh, never mind, you're all grown up now, that was a long time ago. That is, don't ever do that. You may be grown up, but the memories are still there at the age it happened. So you listen. And the more people speak, about their unhappiness, the more the feeling will open their hearts that they want to express it. So when they're speaking, we watch. Not speak as a story. What do I mean by that? They've closed their heart and it's only coming from mental memory. Speak from the heart. Tell me what's going on with you. What happened? And how are you feeling about it now? In the most gentlest, loving way. That will touch people immensely, immensely. Because they can feel the love, the compassion you have for them. And that's all they ever wanted because a lot of people have grown up without ever feeling loved.
And that's sad because it's like in order to love someone else, you have to be loved yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I think that's where a lot of people are like, they want to find the one that will love them. And it's like, I've told my friends before, I'm like, you're never going to be able to give something you don't have. Like, if you don't
You
have it
can't.
in you.
So I don't know if I talked about the book that
Mm-mm.
I wrote. Oh, so here's the
Oh,
book. And the book is about messages, messages from the essence of our soul. They told me about different multidimensional things, and so it's focused in the book, and in the book also it's about talking about the wounds that we've gone through and how we, and the messages. So I like to, may I read one of the messages?
yeah, you can. Definitely.
Okay, so it's about forgiveness. I know so many of us have it hard to forgive when the pain is so if people can just open their hearts to listen, because this is a multidimensional message. It says, it is important that forgiveness is given to all that is held in blame, because forgiveness is the door to living in love. We are here to remember again the freedom of simplicity and love. It will be very difficult if we stay trapped. And what I mean by staying trapped is that they're veiled over with our conditioning. They can't get out, they can't express their love. So that is the essence of our soul. It's right here between both of us, all of us. It's there. But it stays dormant a lot because we are living from the program self.
And that makes sense on that because I know like the program self it's a bear cat trying to change it. It's not fun at all.
That's
And
right.
it's like it doesn't want to give it up. That's that's the subconscious mind. It's like I love it, but at the same time, it's not it's like the subconscious mind, it runs everything that we do. But at the same time, it's like it can be the greatest asset or the greatest liability. And it's like we all have the choice, but it's like typically we're programmed that it's a liability. It's not the asset. So I think that's when people go through life that way and then they hit a stage and they're just like trying to figure out like what happened? Why am I this way? And then they want to blame themselves or other people. And it's like that doesn't help either. Because you had
Right.
mentioned it a couple times about for not being good enough. There's so many people, myself included, that feel like that. And it's like, how do you just break free from that not good enough trap?
That's a facilitation that I do with people because I understand because I went through it. I learned from how I used to feel and what caused me to feel the way I did and here and so that's my soul's mission to really help people move out of the entangled state of doubt and lack. And so I offer people 20-minute complimentary. Talk to me. It doesn't, I love people to open up to share anything. 20 minutes is a lot that they'll get a lot from me. Yes. So that's the reason the book was written to, is because I got the messages and they told me, we're not wounded children, we're divine sparks. Didn't know the word before. So we are, Robin, divine sparks. We're sparks of God, sparks of the divine. And in the Bible, you probably see something that relates to that. And that's what it is. It's about how we unveil all of those false perception and start to live in that state of grace. And that is the whole idea about life to me.
I love that. Because yeah, it's
Yeah.
very much how God wants us to live. Because as you were thinking, or as you were speaking, I
Yeah.
was thinking about how in Proverbs it says, as a man thinketh in his heart,
Please,
so is he.
please. Yes, absolutely. Yes, true. So
Yeah.
consider all those people, the trolls and
Yes.
the judgment that they're doing. What do you think it is? They're exposing themselves. That's what it is. Perfect.
Yeah. And that's what I come to the conclusion. And then because I was initially like, there's so many people that are so full of anger, so full of hatred. And it's like they're really reflecting themselves. They're angry. They hate
They,
themselves
yeah,
because
oh,
otherwise they wouldn't go
absolutely.
pick on others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's really sad if you really think about it. It's like that they have never known love because if they had, they wouldn't act the way they do.
Yeah, I'd like to read something else to you.
Yeah.
I just opened the book, so because the messages are so touching. Say, you, the adult, have forgotten the path. We have the key for us to join as one in freedom. Hear our cry. We're crying out to you, opening to us through healing the wounds of your past that you are still manifesting from, will open the vulnerable feelings of your heart. It's pretty clear. It's really pretty clear. This particular one. Yeah, we're forgotten because we're so wrapped up in the program that they're here crying out for us to be one in freedom. And they're just saying, I want you to hear me, hear us. So opening to us through the wounds, healing the wounds of the past, which is you're still manifesting from, which is the trolls doing on will open the vulnerable feelings of your heart.
Yeah.
The more we spill the pain, the more we are opening and be more vulnerable.
Yeah. And it's just like how to direct that in a safe, healthy way instead of doing it online. Because and I think like for me, when I think about like there's so many things that people could be using it in a healthy way instead of hurting others. But it's like I guess that's where that phrase goes where hurt people hurt people. And it's like because when you're healed, you don't do it. Like there's no need for it
You
anymore.
have to feel the pain. There's no way to get around it. You really have to feel the emotions of it. You can't think it because that's a story. You're only reading a story. You gotta feel it. It's very necessary, very important.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I know like I'm sorry I keep moving so much. There's been a fly here And it's like, it's
But,
bothering me. It's like, it bothered me on the last one too. I'm like, oh,
mm,
so I don't want to cause the fly pain. I'm just saying. I try to be nice to all God's critters, but I'm like, certain ones, it's like, I don't know why God made them. Flies would be one
mm,
of them.
mm,
Flies,
mm.
mosquitoes, a couple others. Um, but even in this of what we're talking about of how we're having that peace, and then we're talking about like for the online for like how people have been towards others, is that something that you can help people with? Like is to
Absolutely,
find who they are?
absolutely, absolutely. That's what I was saying. This is why my soul is here. That's why I
Yeah.
got to this place of, as you say, a little peaceful. I was born that way, just like your little son, but I didn't grow up that way because of the program and about the conditioning. But
So
once I healed and cried and released all of those wounds, I've come to that place of seeing the world in a different way, gratitude, and getting the messages from our spark was really touching too.
yeah, it is. Because I was thinking about like um the messages that you have in the book, just those two that you've read. It's like how you read them, and then like as you're reading them, I'm just like thinking like that's the message that a lot of people need. Like the
Yes,
forgiveness one that you talked about.
yes,
And
yes,
then, just being able
yes,
to just be.
absolutely. And the book is on Amazon. So
Yeah.
and if they go to Amazon and just put in Radavie, the book will come up. Or the title of the book is Awaken to Inner Peace in the Midst of Chaos. We're going through lots of chaos. There's a lot of chaos happening now. So it's a perfect timing for people who says, I'm done with all of this and to feel I'm done.
I'm done with all of it myself.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm ready to heal my soul. You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Well, that's exactly where I'm at this point. I'm like, why can't everybody just get along with each other? I'm like, we all bleed. We all go to the bathroom. We all
yes,
do like we all just want to be seen, heard, and valued. That's all we really want. So it's like, what more is there to really, you know, I just
yeah.
get frustrated with the world. That's why I'm like, just be nice to each other. It's not that hard. It's kind of like I told my boys earlier. Keep your hands to yourself. It's not that hard. Quit hurting each other. I got
But
boys.
when we have unhappiness
Yeah,
locked up in here, it's really not easy to always be at peace or to be kind to
true.
someone else.
That is
Yeah,
true. So I'm
yeah,
glad that we've had this conversation because it's like it's really one that people need is how to get that inner peace.
yes. It really, it is. It is.
Because it's
So
very
do you,
much different
yeah,
than the hustle culture that people keep seeking. And I'm like, I don't like it. I
yeah.
just don't.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
Since 2019.
A long time. Yeah. So you have a lot
Yeah.
of followers?
Getting there. It's
Hmm.
growing. And that's what I
Yeah.
keep telling myself is that it's growing, that I'm doing things differently, that I'm keep going. I think that's the key is to not give up.
Yes. Yes. That is it.
I've had I've had plenty of people want me to quit. I can tell you that. And I
Well,
did quit for a little bit last year because I'm like, I just different things and then I'm like I had to bring it back because it's like now is the time like when we really need it. That's really what I've noticed is that it's not about me as much as it is about people need the messages that are coming from this podcast, because it's like they're not, they need help, but they're being led wrong instead
Mm-hmm.
of where they need to be back, which is who they are. And it's like so many people, they would have that clarity of what they want in life if they knew who they are, but more importantly, whose they are. Like to me, that's the most important is like when you figure that moment out of, I'm not just a mom, I'm not just a sibling, I'm not just this, and this. This is me. Like there'll never be another person just like me on the planet. And I think
That's
in
right.
this world
That's
where
right.
people are
That's
like
right.
trying to be so different by changing different things about themselves to be, oh, I'm different. It's like, no, these people, they were tricked. One, obviously, they were tricked by Satan himself into believing something that they will never become. But even in that, it's like they forgot that just being alive, you're unique. Like my kids last night, I've taught all of them that they're winners because there are no losers. I'm like, think about it. In order to be a human, you won. You won a race. It goes back to the parents when you were during conception. One of those won the race. Out of all that sperm, one won a race, and that's how you know for a fact you started off as a winner. I'm just saying, it
I
goes
did.
back to biology.
That's a
Huh?
brilliant idea. I mean, to tell your
Yeah,
children that from the beginning, man, they're going to feel really, really excellent. That's great.
yeah. And it's weird because now it's like some of that stuff that I've been telling my kids, they're asking me like, why haven't you said it? So then I start saying it about myself. Like my daughter, I only got one daughter. So I teach her, I'm like, she's a powerful woman of God. So I'll have her say it. I am a powerful woman of God. And I make sure that they go down with the tonality because then it's believable versus questioning, like, I'm a powerful woman of God, where it's more of a question. And I'm like, nope, you have it go down. So this way you believe it and it's true. And so me teaching her that, I'm seeing like, she's like, why aren't you doing it? I'm like, okay, so now I'll do it. And it's fun to see how my children, they believe it and they see it in them, and then I'm having
Well,
to see
then,
it now.
how old is she?
She's 4.
Only daughter out of how many, 8 children?
Yeah, it's a lot of testosterone. But yeah, so what's the best way for our audience to get in contact with you?
Way to get in touch with me. I don't know if you have it there. It's my website. It's radavie.net. Do you have it?
Yes, I
Do you?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
radavie.net. And when they go there, I offer the 20 minutes. And also there's one thing from from my book that I offer. So two things. They get the one that I offer, one of the freedom exploration from the book, and
Mhm.
then they have a 20-minute complimentary conversation. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate it very much. And I just want to remind everybody before we close out to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Healing for Soul podcast and keep coming back for more episodes. And thank you everyone for your time and your energy while listening to today's Healing for Soul podcast.